A heartbreaking work of staggering genius, Dave Eggers' memoir, 2000, was an instant critical and commercial success. It soared to the top of the New York Times bestseller list and was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize for General Nonfiction. Time magazine named it the best book of the year, and the Times ranked it the 12th best book of the decade. Eggers is renowned for his sharp, satirical style. The story begins with Dave's mother experiencing a nosebleed that won't stop. Dave, aware that her low blood cell count makes even a simple nosebleed potentially fatal, is perplexed by her refusal to go to the hospital. As he waits, he contemplates the inevitable loss of his mother and wonders how to prepare himself, the family, and their friends for her death. Eventually, Dave's sister, Beth, convinces their mother to seek medical help. At the hospital, as Dave watches his mother sleep, he reflects on the last time he saw his father. The doctors had been conducting what they thought was a routine lung cancer check, but his father passed away suddenly, leaving the family in deep shock. Dave recalls the funeral, where many of his father's friends shared stories, surprising him with their memories of his father. He was struck by how differently these people remembered him, as if they had known a different man than the one Dave had grown up with. Within 5 weeks, both of Dave's parents pass away. He, Beth, and their brother Bill begin packing up the family home for sale before relocating to California. Bill starts working in Los Angeles, while Beth prepares to attend law school in Berkeley. Dave moves in with Beth and his girlfriend, Kirsten, and spends his free time bonding with his younger brother, Toph. Beth and Dave gain legal custody of Toph, and Dave is determined to give him a good summer following the family's recent loss. However, as the summer draws to a close, so does their lease on the house they're living in. Beth decides to move into an apartment in Berkeley, and Kirsten also decides to live independently. Dave is left to find a place for himself and Toph, but his only income is the Social Security payments sent for his 8-year-old brother. After a difficult search, Dave manages to find a place not far from Beth. He struggles to adjust to life as a single parent, finding it hard to keep the household organized and dealing with paperwork from Toph's school. Toph is often late for school because Dave, overwhelmed by depression, struggles to even get out of bed. Despite his own difficulties, Dave's main concern is Toph and the emotional scars he might carry because of Dave's own shortcomings as a parent. He becomes consumed by the fear of social workers coming to take Toph away from him. While people his age are out enjoying themselves, Dave feels trapped at home, unable to leave without worrying that Toph might hurt himself. These fears haunt him whenever he's apart from his brother. Dave eventually finds some work through a temp agency and uses his artistic skills to earn a little extra. He and a group of friends launch a magazine called Might, aimed at people in their 20s. Though the magazine struggles initially, it eventually gains a modest following. The magazine is satirical, with the editors posing naked on occasion and even killing off a popular child star from the 1970s. However, as time goes on, financial difficulties mount, and it becomes clear that the magazine's days are numbered. Eventually, Dave returns to Chicago a few years after his parents' deaths. He visits his childhood home and the funeral home that handled both of his parents' bodies, which had been donated to science. He unexpectedly receives his mother's ashes, which had been mistakenly given to the funeral home. In an attempt to honor her, Dave scatters the ashes in Lake Michigan, hoping it's something his mother would have wanted. This act helps him process the grief and begin to move past the tragedy. Shortly afterward, Dave decides to move to New York with Toph. Feeling that this is the right step, he embraces the challenge of starting fresh, knowing they will be entirely on their own, but feeling ready to face what comes next. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.